One way to get my kids to eat all their dinner is to serve mini foods. Party wings are just the miniature version of a drumstick. I have an easy recipe to add different flavors to these that my family loves so much that we never have leftovers. Let's make them. Start by patting the wings dry with a paper towel. The goal here is to get the skin crispy as it bakes. And you could probably put these in the refrigerator overnight to air dry just to help crisp them up even more. But I'm a little impatient today. In a small bowl, add a tablespoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Once it's mixed, sprinkle the mixture in with the wings and toss it until it's evenly coated. The way to get crispy wings without having to fry them in oil is to dry the skin out. The combination of the baking powder and the salt help to break down the proteins in the skin. The salt dries out the moisture from the surface, while the baking powder helps to brown and crisp the skin as it bakes. Most people use either baking powder, baking soda, or even cornstarch in order to get their wings crispy. It does work, but it's not always necessary, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit later. Place a wire rack over a foil-lined baking tray, and I'm just using my cooling rack that I use for cookies. To prevent the wings from sticking to the wire rack, spray it with cooking oil. Then evenly place your wings on top of the wire rack, giving them room for the air to circulate all around. Bake at 450 degrees for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, let's prepare the tasty kid-approved sauce that's going to go on these babies. You'll need 6 cloves of garlic to mince. Add that to a bowl along with 5 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter and a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Remove the wings from the oven, and you can see they're already getting crispy. I like to coat these a little way half through cooking because I want to get that buttery garlic flavor to infuse in the wings a bit. I tried cooking them first and then tossing them in the sauce, but it was a little bit too overpowering, plus it made them mushy. After you brush this mixture all over both sides, return them to the oven to bake for another 10 to 12 minutes or until they've cooked through and are crispy. You could eat these crispy wings just like this, but I like to add more flavoring and toss them in more of that buttery garlic Parmesan mixture. Then top it with parsley. Looking for more wing recipes but don't want to have to use baking soda, baking powder, or cornstarch? Click right here because I show you my trick for getting it done.